Lord, when I was born, I was handicapped. When I go to sleep, I'm handicapped. When I wake up, I'm handicapped, and I will always be handicapped. Lord, if I wake up tomorrow and I'm not fully healed from this disability, I'm going to kill myself. Hi, my name is Moses Macias, and this is my book, Always With Me.
We're back, and you got to see a video there about a young man who has written a wonderful book, and his name is Moses Macias. Moses, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's exciting always to see different books that come in, and this looks extremely exciting. Tell me about it. How did this come into being?
So, this book is about my life, for the first 21 years of my life. I was born with hydrocephalus, spina bifida, and cleft lip. So I spent 21 years in the hospital, in and out, fighting for my life.
Oh my gosh.
And so for those of you that know, spina bifida is basically where your spine is split open. And so when I was born, my spine was open, and you could see my muscle, you could see my gallbladder, and you could see my spine, and
Oh my gosh.
things like that. So you can only imagine what my parents were going through.
Oh.
And in the front, I have cleft lip, so my lip was split open.
Oh my gosh.
So I was badly disfigured, and then they ended up finding out that I had hydrocephalus, which is fluid going in the brain. And I don't know if you ever seen kids with their head is really enlarged. That's usually what they have. And so for me, they caught that early, and they had surgery 4 days later for that one. But the day I was born was the day I was supposed to die, and I ended up having life and death surgery the first day, and 4 days later to get the shunt in my head. And then a couple months later, I ended up having to fix my lip a little bit. So I went through all that in the first couple months of my life. Went through infections and fighting for my life, and my parents didn't actually hold me until 18 days later because I was always in the hospital getting shots.
Oh, Moses.
So I went 21 years of this kind of stuff, and so when I went through all that, I just went through life. And around like a couple years ago, I was like, you know what, God had put in my heart, you need to tell your story to the world and let them know what you went through.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, how terrible. And for your poor parents, it's right to go through that. And it must be terribly expensive.
Oh yeah. People know the surgeries are like could be easy $80,000. This was like in the 80s and early 90s.
Oh my gosh.
So they probably spent a couple $1 million on me just having the surgeries and all the things, because they it may not look like it now, but they really reconstructed my face. If you can see my scars, They did my nose a couple of times. They did my lip a couple of times. I didn't even have a lip. I was really badly disfigured, and they reconstructed my face, and they did like a lot of things like that. And also it came with ear infections and just different kinds of infections that I had to deal with. So fortunately, I have my hearing, so I didn't go deaf or anything like that. They reconstructed my bladder.
My God.
I had a couple of brain surgeries, about 3 of them. Technically, it's brain surgery and also by the heart.
Oh my Moses.
And then I had about 19 surgeries, more or less.
Oh my God.
And most of them were like, all right, we can't do all these surgeries one after the other, so we're gonna have to put a couple of them in there and get it done in one shot.
Oh my God, what you went through. I can't even imagine. How horrible that must have been for you and your family.
Yeah, it was, but we kind of grew stronger through that. Like, we just took it one day at a time.
Right.
And so my brother, I see in my brothers and I see in my sister, my mom and dad, like, not much phases them in life because they've been through what, I guess what you could say, the worst of life can offer you. And even myself, there's a lot of things that I go through, it don't faze me. After going through all that for 21 years, and now that I'm out in, say, the normal world, I just take one day at a time. I live fearlessly, and I just try to conquer what there is for me to conquer. And
Are you okay now?
yeah, now I'm okay. So when I got out of the hospital for like 21 years, I was still like physically unstable, and so about 25 years of age, then now, like, I can really feel my body really feel real good. And ever since then, I've been on point with my medical stuff. It's a lot of medical maintenance. I'll spend like a couple hours just taking care of my medical stuff in the morning. And so throughout the day, so I have to catheterize myself 6-7 times a day and do all these medical stuff, but it's worth it at the end.
But I didn't even notice that. I thought you're a very nice looking young man.
Well, thank you.
Really, I didn't know that you'd gone through so much.
Yeah, a lot of times, the doctors did such a great job with my, reconstructing, my lip and just redoing everything, man. If you see the before and after pictures, it was a big difference. And even with my walking, because I was supposed to be born paralyzed, I was supposed to be born mentally slow, so they thought I was gonna be retarded, and well, that was the term they used back then. So mentally slow. I was supposed to not be able to really communication wise, not be able to talk and hear because of infections. So and not walk, and little by little, I went from crawling like kind of real late, about 5 years, and kind of working my way up, and I kind of detailed that in the book. How I'm able to the point where I had things for my legs to help me hold me up, and crutches and stuff like that, and wheelchairs, and until now I'm able to walk, so I'm able to work out a little bit.
But what is so miraculous is this book.
Yeah.
You have written a book after all of that. Always
with me.
Always with me. Isn't that nice? Tell us how you got started writing this book.
Yeah, so in college, I went in college, the recession had hit, and so I went to the community college. There was just no money or nothing like that, so I was like, let me go to the West Hills Community College. It's in Fireball. It's nothing but 10 minutes away, make it easier, because the recession was really hard. And so I went over there, I took classes, and I ended up taking extra writing classes because there's so many kids out there that you just have to take what you can get. And so I just took writing classes, and not thinking I was never ever going to really use it, and I ended up getting a couple of degrees, associate's degrees. And for me, like, from growing in the hospital for 21 years, and just to be able to graduate from high school was like getting a PhD, because not too many kids get to actually graduate from high school from where I'm from the hospital, because a lot of them, they just, unfortunately can't mentally do it, or it's so physically hard. It's hard to have a surgery and then come back to school and finish your classes. I would have, say, surgery on a Monday. I would have brain surgery on Monday. I'd be in the hospital. I'd probably get out about Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I would get my homework.
Oh my God.
The whole weekend, I would work on the homework. And keep in mind, I just had brain surgery. And I would come back Monday with all my homework done and everything done, and I would still only get half credit or not even full credit.
Oh my God.
And so I can only imagine other kids, like, I was fortunate to pull it off, but I'm just, I gotta count my blessings. Not everybody is able to do that. And so I graduated high school. That for most disabled kids, that would have been good enough. But I was like, let me just give it a try at college. So I went, and I actually got like a couple of degrees, associate's degrees, and I kind of just stopped there. One day, who knows, I might go back. But as of now, that's how I got some writing experience, and then I would just write here and there, just from the church, just really helping people out. But when I wrote the book, I went into depression.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I had like just a spiritual experience, of just God telling me, tell your story. And at the time, I didn't know how I was doing it, and so I just wrote my testimony, and I wrote my testimony. It was like 2 pages, right? And so it didn't sit well to me, and so the next day I wrote a chapter. And so I talked to my mom, because that was the first couple of years of my life. I don't know anything, so I talked to my mom and kind of interviewed her, and she starts answering these questions, and I just started writing it. And as I'm writing, I go into depression, and so I went to depression for about 5 months, and that's how long it took me.
It reminded you.
Yeah, I had to go back, relive everything, but relive it as in I got to go conquer these things, and I had to learn to forgive people for what they did to me, because I had maybe 99 great doctors, 99 great nurses, but there would be that one doctor that had went through medical abuse.
Oh my gosh, that's all you needed.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
Yeah, it only takes one, just unfortunately, to ruin the whole thing. But so I had to realize that I hadn't forgiven these people in my life. So I went, and just the way how I was treated like a monster in growing up.
Oh my gosh.
Because I looked at figure, they're like, what's wrong with that kid? They told me, they tried to take me away from my mom, the doctor that was there, to give me to a white family, because they didn't think Mexicans could take care of their disabled children. And so my mom kind of, obviously like any other mom would, just pull her claws and just got upset and took off. And fortunately, a week later, he quit. He just left. And the nurses didn't know why, but my mom, obviously knew why. He probably just felt, who knows, he felt guilty or what. And he took off, and I was fortunate to get Dr. Woodward. She's at Valley Children's Hospital, where I spent all my years, my medical years. Valley Children's Hospital.
Oh, see, this is a good thing for you to realize what that place does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That this young man, they cared for him for 21 years, all the operations and everything. We really need to support Valley Children's Hospital.
What people don't realize, Valley Children's, they take the worst case. They don't give up. So I was one of those worst. I was around cancer patients, people with severe mental disabilities, physical disabilities, so also with the worst of the worst as far as medical things can go. Like a lot of things that you see on TV that were medically rare, I saw on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, a lot of those kids passed away, and it was hard for me to think to handle growing up, and all my friends are passing away. Because,
oh my gosh, Lord. Oh, Moses.
I kind of grew up angry in life, resentment, and I was always real upset in life because I always felt like it was a mistake, and just going through the medical abuse, just being socially an outcast and things like that, and having to go through all the surgeries and just dealing with everything. It was just so confusing growing up. You know, you can only imagine
it really
what else.
So your story is in the book.
Yeah,
You've told all the things that you've gone through,
Yeah.
and all of the wondrous people that helped you.
Yeah, so when I was 18, I tried to commit suicide because it was building up, you know, and you can only stay strong for so long before, you know, it just comes out. And so at 18, I tried to commit suicide, and that's when I felt God talking to me, you know, showing me how my family was going to feel.
Right.
And it was a feeling of abandonment, and it was, as much as I had went through it, it was greater than the pain that I went through, because it was like wondering why did, you know, my son kill himself and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
And that really, you know, it changed me, you know, it really affected me. And so I gave my life to the Lord that day, and I never looked back, and I gave God all my pain and my misery.
I'm so glad you came in. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that you can tell this story that it's so painful. It's even painful to listen to it because.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad you came in today and talked to me. And please come in again, because I like to hear what's happening with you, and if you're staying healthy, whatever. So, and your book's gonna sell. They're gonna sell the story of this man. This young man has gone through so much, but he still could sit down and write a book and come out and get a talk with me. It was a lot of people are afraid to do that, but Moses isn't. Moses, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having
come
me.
in again.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Lord, when I was born, I was handicapped. When I go to sleep, I'm handicapped. When I wake up, I'm handicapped, and I will always be handicapped. Lord, if I wake up tomorrow and I'm not fully healed from this disability, I'm going to kill myself. Hi, my name is Moses Macias, and this is my book, Always With Me.